Namaste. Let us chant the Purusha Suktam. Om Tacham Yoravrunimahe Gatum Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunaha Swastirmanushebhyaha Urdhvajjigatu bheshajam Shanno astu dvipade Shanchatushpade Om Shanti 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 Om Sahasrashirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshah Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtaddashangulam Purusha evedagum sarvam Yadbhutam yaccha bhavyam Utamritatvasyeşanaha Yadannena tirohati Etavanasya mahima Ato jaya guscha purushaha Pado osya vishwa bhutani Tripadasya divi Tripadurdhva udait purushaha Pado osyeha bhavat punaha Tato vishwang vyakramat Sashananashane abhi Tasmaat viradjayata Virajo adipurushaha Sajato atyarichyata Paschad bhumimatho puraha Yat purushena havisha Deva yagyamatanvata Vasanto asya sidajyam Grishma idhma sharadhavihi Saptasyasan paridhayaha Trisapta samidah kritaha Devayat yagyantan vanaha Abadnan purushan pashun Tan yagyan barhishi praukshan Purushan jatamagrataha Tena deva ayajanta Sadhya rishayaschaye Tasmaat yagyat sarvahutaha Sambhritam prishadajyam Pashugastagaschakre vayavyan Aranyan gramyaschaye Tasmaat yagyat sarvahutaha Richasamani jaggire Chandagumsi jaggire Tasmaat yajustasmadajayata Tasmadashva ajayanta Ye kecho bhayadataha Gavo hajaggire tasmaat Tasmaat jata ajavayaha Yat purushan vyataduhu Katidha vyakalpayan Mukhan kimasya kau bahu Kavurupadavujjete Brahmano osya mukhamasit Bahurajanyah kritaha Uru tadasya yadvaishyaha Padbhyagum shudro ajayata Chandrama manaso jataha Chaksho suryo ajayata Mukhadindraschagnischa Pranat vayurajayata Nabhya asidantariksham Shishno dyau samavartata Padbhyam bhumirdishashrotraat Tata lokagum akalpayan Vedahametam purusham mahantam Adityavarnam tamasastu pare Sarvani rupani vichitya dhiraha Namani kritva bhivadan yadaste Dhata purastatyamuda jahara Shakraf pravridvan pratisascha tasraha तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्या सन्ति देवाः अद्भ्यः सम्भूतः पृथिव्यैरसाच्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तताधि तस्य त्वष्टा विदधद्रूपमेति तत्पुरुषस्य विश्वमाजानमग्रे वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनाय प्रजापतिश्चरति गर्भे अन्तः अजायमानो बहुधा विचायते तस्य धीराः परिजानन्ति योनिम् मरीचीनां पदमिच्छन्ति वेदसः यो देवेभ्यो आतपति यो देवानां पुरोहितः पूर्वो यो देवेभ्यो जातः नमो रुचाय ब्राह्मये रुचन् ब्राह्मन् जनयन्तः देवा अग्रे तदब्रुवन् यस्त्वैवं ब्राह्मणो विद्यात् तस्य देवा असन्वशे श्रीश्च ते लक्ष्मीश्च पत्न्यौ अहोरात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपम् अश्विनौ व्यात्तम् इष्टं मनिशान अमुं मनिशान सर्वं मनिशान ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, let's begin the class, but before that, let's do the prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome to the class today. So, a quick revision from last week. What we had indicated is that the right way to look at this stotram, the stuti of Ishwara, of Purusha, is to try as best as we can, and with the help of Purusha Suktam, that's exactly what it's going to do, try to see the similarity between the Jiva, us, the Pranadharane. Jiva means the one that has some life in it. So as a Suksma Sharira has life in it, as opposed to a table that does not have Suksma Sharira. It only has Sthula Sharira. So a Jiva is the one that possesses, is alive and possesses the same characteristic, similar characteristics as Ishvara. So in fact, it's interesting, if you draw, just for your own memory and understanding, draw two circles. If you have a piece of paper and if you are taking notes, otherwise it doesn't matter. You can just visualize it. So draw a larger circle and draw a smaller circle that touches the periphery. So not concentric circles in the middle, but the same point that you use for drawing the bigger circle, use the same point to draw a smaller circle. So essentially, now you find that these two circles are similar. So our attempt is to find the similarity between us, the Jiva, and Ishwara. So in that sense, the Purusha Suktam is not only a Suktam for Ishwara, it is a Suktam for the Jiva. So both the Jivatma as well as the Paramatma are addressed, as we will see. So this is an important thing to see. There is a very interesting, oh by the way, just I took a mantra out of the Mundaka Upanishad to illustrate this point. It's not just I talking about it, this is the Upanishad talking. It says in the Mundaka Upanishad chapter 3, first section, it says, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parishasva Jate Tayor Ruya Rajya. I'm sorry, I made a mistake here somewhere, I'm not quite sure. Tayoho Rajya Pippalam Swadanyat Anyan Ashnan Yah Abhichakashiti. Sorry, I haven't pronounced this for a long time, so it was not very accurate on that. Anyway, what it means is that there are two birds sitting on a tree, and one of them signifies the Jiva and the other one signifies the Ishwara. And it says that the one of the birds is eating the fruits, and so this signifies eating the fruits of our karma. So sometimes the fruits are bitter and sometimes they are sweet. So one of the birds is very busy tasting different kinds of fruits. As you know, in Sanskritam, the fruits are called phalam. So phalam means that it doesn't last very long. It's an important thing to see, that you cannot buy bananas that last forever. The bananas have a cycle, all fruits have a cycle. They become ripe and then they wither away. And so also the karma phala also is the same thing. It's the fruits of the action. They wither away. Anyway, going back to the story, one of the birds is eating. The other bird is just watching, not eating. And this is the similarity between the Jiva and the Ishwara. Here, just to one last point before I go on to something different. There is a Mahatma, a poet Mahatma called Apyaya Dikshita. Apyaya Dikshita. So he wrote a poem addressing it to Shiva, Lord Shiva. And he is displaying his displeasure at Shiva. This is a way of really endearing himself to Shiva. And the way he is endearing himself to Shiva is by expressing his displeasure. He says, listen, aren't the two of us like brothers? Doesn't the Shastra say, just like we went through this, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parishasva Jate. You are the one who is telling me that the two of us are very similar. And so we actually belong to the same family, Jati. We belong to the same family. Why do we belong to the same family? What is so similar between Ishwara and Jiva? First of all, both of us are Chetana. We are aware. We are are endowed with Chaitana. Ishvara also is endowed with Chaitana, and Jiva also. Furthermore, we both have intelligence. And so here, the jati is a Chaitana person that has some mind and intelligence, who is a thinker. So this excludes all the animals, because the animals are also jivas, but they cannot think for themselves. They can only look around and get some food and protect themselves, and then create progeny to continue with their own family tree and so on. But that's all. There's no self-awareness, no self-evaluation and so on. But the Jivas and the Ishwaras do. So Apya Dikshita says, aren't we of the same family? And then if we are, you are the one who is telling me we are the same family. You have done me a great injustice. Like a bigger brother, you have confiscated all the jewels of the family. You're always happy. Nothing bothers you. You are Ishvara, means that you are the boss. Varat Pachaya, Varach Pratyaya, meaning that you are Ishaha, always Ishvara. And look at me. I'm in a sad shape. I am like a beggar, getting some small pleasures here and there, totally dependent upon the world. And you are sitting there and you claim that you don't really have much, because I've seen pictures of you sitting in a shmasham, in some kind of a burial ground, and you're drinking from just the skull of a human being, and you just are surrounded by snakes and so on and so forth, as though you don't have much, but you have all the jewels. So anyway, this was an interesting poem when I read that. It was translated for me. I didn't read it in Sanskritam. Anyway, so there we say that in the beginning we look for similarity, and we end up not in similarity but in identity. The beginning is similarity, the ending is identity. So if you look at the two circles, for example, they're similar. One is smaller than the other, both are touching. Really speaking, the content of both of them is nothing but space. One is a small circle space and one is a bigger circle space. So that is the similarity. The identity is they are both space. They are not different spaces. Anyway, so going back to Apya Dikshita's poetry, he says, you've got everything and you have not left me with anything. So Ishvara says, look, that's not true. That's not true. What do you mean by it's not true? It's true. I'm like a beggar looking for happiness, and you are the giver of happiness. What do you mean it's not true? Ishvara says it's not true. Why? Because you also have the same jewels that you are accusing me of hiding. You just don't know where to find them. That's it. Look for them. And it's the same jewels as I have that you also have. Same jewels. There's no difference. There's no small circle or a big circle. It's all space, same jewels. So really I said, what What do you mean I don't know? Where do I look? And so Ishwara says, let me tell you where to look. You are missing something right in front of you. You don't understand it. It's a question of understanding. And you don't know you already have it. Absolutely. You just have to mobilize your, there are so many, mobilize your mind and your search capability. It's a very, sometimes in Google, it's there, but you don't know how to search for it. And so all of a sudden you have one keyword that matches. In my searching of the emails, for example, which, as just gets to be such a burden, because just a couple of weeks ago somebody sent me an email, and the biggest problem with the emails is that the subject doesn't reveal the content. Some people put in a different content in the same subject, and so you get very frustrated. And what I've found, at least partially as a relief for this, is to look for a reference. At least I'm on the Gmail. I don't know if Yahoo has the same thing. They probably do. But in Gmail, you look for, so just to say something like, I don't know, I'm just talking about like a fruit that was discussed. So name the fruit and it takes you right there. And this one has a very, I think we went through an example last week, and this is a Vedantic example, a very important Vedantic example. So I think we may have, I don't know if I'm repeating myself from last week, but maybe not. So let me go ahead. So it appears that there was a person who had lost his cow in the village. And he went around looking for the cow and he couldn't find it. And so he went to the local, whatever the village policeman is, and said, "Sir, I lost my very valuable possession that I have, because I really depend on the cow, and I think it is stolen." So the policeman came to the home and said, "You're very lucky." So the person says, "What do you mean I'm lucky? I've lost my cow. How are you telling me I'm lucky?" He says, "We'll find it. I know exactly how to find it." So he says, "How?" He says, "This is rainy season and there is mud on the streets. And when your cow and the person that took the cow, they left footmarks. Easy. All we have to do is to just follow the footmark. I have done this dozens of times before, and it always takes me directly to the person. And you can see from the look of the person, he'll be very guilty, and he will say, 'Sorry, I'm very sorry. Just put me on jail for a week or two,' whatever." That's exactly what happened. So this is what the example we gave was lingam. So lingam means that it is not the actual knowledge, but the means to the knowledge until you find you are not going to get to the main knowledge. So this is why I think I'm repeating myself, that in pujas, when you go to a temple, you have to do the puja to the Shivalinga with Nandi staring at the Shivalinga. And that means that you have to do puja on how to find Shiva. Here, Purusha Suktam gives us this lingam. And it says, listen, Ishvara is right in front of you. Right in front of me? I don't see any Ishvara. I see tables and chairs and cameras and lights and so on. I don't see any Ishvara. There is Ishvara here. How? You find the lingam of Ishvara. You have to find the Lakshana of Ishvara. It is called Lakshana. Lakshana means that something unique about Ishvara which no one else has. This is an important thing to see. This is the word Lakshana. So Lakshana of anything means something that uniquely defines a vastu is called Lakshana. Like for example, describing a cow, the size and so on, and the udders, and the very gentle disposition is the Lakshana of a cow. Gau Lakshana. So similarly, Ishvara has a Lakshana that you have to understand. What is the Lakshana? The Lakshana is one which is present everywhere. Present everywhere. How? So it gives the examples. It says, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasra Akshaha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwataha Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. And so this is the first verse, as we saw from last verse, or from the last time, is the Deshataha Vyapakatvam. And also Vastutaha Vyapakatvam. Deshataha Vyapakatvam means that it is pervasiveness in terms of space. And pervasiveness in terms of all things. Pervasiveness. Vyapakam. And as though this is not enough, it also supplies the second verse, which is Purusha eva idagum sarvam yat bhutam yat cha bhavyam uta amritatsva ishanaha yadena na yad annena rohati yat annena ati rohati. So the second verse says that it is pervasive in terms of time. So now we have defined the Lakshana of Ishvara in all three ways. Deshataha Vyapakatvam, Vastutaha Vyapakatvam, Kalataha Vyapakatvam. Pervasiveness in terms of space, things, and time. You got it. This is the Lakshana. So now you say, how is that possible? I don't see where Ishvara is. Okay, so let's move forward. I can visualize this. I just thought of this example. So supposing there is a professor of physics, let's say, could be anything, but let's say physics, a physics professor in a college, and there are a bunch of students in the class, and he gives them an assignment. And he says, I'm going to go back to my office, and I'll be there for half hour, and what I want you to do is to note down everything that is in this room. Don't leave anything out. And the more complete the list you have, you put it down on a spreadsheet, put down your elements on the spreadsheet and you send it to me and I will grade you. So everybody says, is that it? That's the assignment? And this is a physics class and you're telling us to do all this? So yes, just do this. Just make a list of everything. Well, everybody was looking at each other and says, I guess, whatever. So they all started doing this. Table, chair, carpet, and like this. They went on everything. And the professor also told them, don't copy each other, you just do independently. So everybody was just looking at it, and pretty soon they were all looking around, do I miss anything? Maybe something else on that side? Yeah, well, that's right, yeah. Picture, and so on. And they all submitted it. And all of them did not get the A grade. Not a single one of them got the complete picture. So when he came back, he said there were some people who were really very careless, so you didn't see even some simple things behind the table. You didn't pat. So he gave them C's and B's, but nobody got an A plus. And the reason was they did not include the sunlight that was illuminating everything in the class. So they said, how come you didn't give us a full grade? He says, well, I wanted completeness. And in fact, you missed the most important thing, which is the sunlight. So they said, oh, that's not fair, of course. We're missing the of course. This is our situation in life, really. We are missing something which is right there, and we have failed to count it. And we are missing something which has to be totally pervasive. No one else should be able to have that. Should be totally pervasive. And this is the definition of satyam. So as you know, there are three possible versions of reality, if I may say so. Three versions of this is what is called ontology. The analysis of reality is called ontology. So there are three levels of reality. So one of them is tucham, or you can even call it asatyam, which is, it is never true. Under any circumstances, it is not true. It is called tucham. And so like horns of a human being are tucham. The only place where we find horns on a human being is Star Wars. I think the Star Wars may be not in humans, but they have some strange looking animals. You can draw them and so on. Rabbits also have no horns, and human beings also have no horns. Horns, I keep on saying horns, have no horns. And so this is called tucham. The second one is called mithya. And mithya means one which looks like satyam, but it isn't. Like the heat, as we saw, the very heat of water. It's as though the water is intrinsically hot. It is not intrinsically hot. So the heat, the temperature of water is not its own, it is borrowed from fire. So, but it looks like it is very hot and it behaves as it is very hot. And so this is what is called mithya. So, and so the definition of mithya would be that sometimes it is hot and sometimes it is not. This is a good Lakshana for mithya. One that keeps on changing. And here Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says in the second chapter itself that, listen, you were not there at one time and you will not be there at some other in another given time. How can I take you to be other than a mithya? You were not, now you are, then you will be not. This is the perfect definition of mithya. Okay, so those two. Then comes the third one, which is satyam. Satyam means, the definition of satyam, Lakshana for satyam. All we are doing at this point is establishing the criteria for these three levels of reality. And so, satyam, the Lakshana is never untrue. Never untrue. Under any circumstance, it is not disappearing. It under circumstance. It's always there. So our doubt is there something like that? Yes. This is what we will see. So this is the Lakshana of Ishwara. This is the Lakshana of Ishwara. Oh, how is that possible that, Ishwara is always there? Well, we will see in a minute how it is there. But you can also, there's another way of looking at it, which is that this is what is called Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana. Pramana means the one which is a definite proof of something is called Pramana. Like, so for example, you said, wow, I saw the mayor of San Jose on the streets yesterday. So he says, how do you know? He says, no, I've seen his pictures and there were some people talking to him. And so I saw him. So you saw him? Are you sure? Are you rubbing your eyes? He says, I'm telling you, I trust my eyes. I saw Sam Licardo, I think is his name. I saw him. So the eyes are a pramana for sight, for form. So similarly, there are different pramanas for different things. One of them is what is called Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana means the one which is an introduction about something that I see, but I was unaware of what that thing is that I'm seeing. So Shabdam, the proof as a pramana actually has two forms. So one is what is called Paroksha Vastu Shabdam, and one is Aparoksha Vastu Shabdam. So the Paroksha Vastu Shabdam means it is a description of something which is not right in front of me. It will say, okay, if you wanted to go someplace, then you take this freeway, and then you will see signs which will say something, San Francisco, and you take the 5th Street exit, and then you take the first right, which, I don't know, I'm just making it up, Bush Street, and then this building is right there. So this is, you are all writing it all down, or maybe, It's just GPS. So here also it is a authentic Shabda Pramana about something that you are not aware of at this point. I mean, you don't see it. You will see it when you get there. This is also a Shabda Pramana. There is another kind of Shabda Pramana which is right in front of you and you don't recognize it. And so here, interesting, I think it is Sant Kabir that wrote this Doha. I believe so. Maybe it is. I'm getting old, my memory is not that good, so it could have been someone else that said that. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is, it's a very beautiful couplet that this poet wrote, which said, if God, Ishwara, and your Guru both walk into the room at the same time, do your namaskara to the Guru first and to God second. You can guess what the reason for that is. If it weren't for the Guru, you would not recognize that the other person is Ishvara. This is how the importance of a Guru is. This is exactly what it means. Swami Maheshananji gave a very interesting example in this Purusha Suktam. I think I was reading ahead a little bit to see what's next and so on. And he says that there was a person who was having some health problems, some physical problems and so on. And so he had invited a Ayurvedic doctor to his home sometimes the Ayurvedic doctors do make house calls. And he was unable to really get up or something, so he invited, it's just a story, we invited this Ayurvedic doctor to come. And as soon as this Ayurvedic doctor came in and this person greeted him, this Ayurvedic doctor looked at the tree in the front yard of the home and said, "Oh my God, do you have this tree?" The person says, "What do you mean I have this tree?" Yeah, this has been around for 30, 40 years in my family, and it's a wonderful tree, gives a lot of shade and so on. He says, "You don't understand. It is not just for giving shade. Do you know how important this tree is?" So the person says, "I have no idea." He says, "Do you know 30% of my Ayurvedic medicines come from this tree?" So it can you can eat the leaves, you can boil them and make a concoction. You can the bark of the tree. He says, "Oh my God, we don't find that many trees." And he says, "The kind of diseases that you have, this is a perfect one. I wish you had told me this before, and I would have really given you it's available right in your own home." He says, "You are in luck." This is an example of aparoksha shabda jnana. Aparoksha shabda jnana means that it is not necessary that a description will be accurate about things that is away from you. It is just as possible that a thing can be revealed which is right in front of you, but you don't know it. It is nobody's fault. This person never knew that this is what kind of a tree it is. It was just a household tree that has been growing up. No one bothered to tell him. He didn't know. So all the secrets of the tree are hidden underneath. And only the knowledge of it by what is called an Apta Purusha. Apta Purusha means one who is a a reliable person, that person's knowledge can be communicated. It's a very similar situation in our life. Very similar. Ishvara is my heart, and I don't recognize. I don't know what qualities I have. I'm unaware of my own qualities. And those qualities are Ishvara's qualities. I know very much my limitations, but I don't know the unlimited qualities that I have. And so, for example, and so at this point, in fact, let's just quickly go through the verse number 3 and 4, and then we may have to wrap up in terms of the timing. So the verse number 3, so we saw the verse number 2 is Purusha eva idagum sarvam yad bhutam yadcha bhavyam utamritatvasya shanaha. And so one of the qualities of Purusha, which is Ishvara in this particular example, is amritatvasya ishana. He or she, whatever you can call Ishvara, we just call it he as a, as we cannot kind of saying he, she, so we just say he. It's not an it. And so he is the giver of immortality. Amritatvasya ishana. And so this is part of the Mahima. So now look at verse number 3. Etavan asya Mahima. This is the Mahima of the Purusha. You say, what Mahima? By this time I hope you're not saying that. One who is pervasive deshataha, kalataha, vastutaha, amritatvasya ishanaha. This is the Mahima. He's the only one which is pervasive everywhere. Only one. The closest thing to Ishvara's pervasiveness is space. And then air. It becomes progressively less. Space is the next one. As Taittiriya Upanishad says, Atmanaha Akasha Utpannaha. Akashat Vayu, Vayor Agni, Agne Rapaha, Agnav Adbhyav Prithavi. And so the pervasiveness diminishes, but they are still very pervasive. Agni is the same Agni all over. And the Agni has a Devata. There is a Devata for all of the Pancha Mahabhutas. They are actually Jivas. These are exalted Jivas. It's kind of like you can start with a human being and you say, I want to be on the city council. So you have some power. You can start some legislature, propose some bills for the town. I think we should have more pathways. The city council person can do it, ordinary person cannot. Then from there he becomes mayor. And from there he stands in for some state job. From there he becomes a senator for the state, national senator, like that. Then you become a president. You have lots of powers, as you know, abuse of power also. And then from there, it's very possible that you have a king of the whole world, no one can challenge him or her. And so this is more and more pervasive. So similarly, the pervasiveness of Agni comes in after millions of years of saying, I want to be the big boss. So these Panchamahabhutas are the big bosses. And they are still under Ishvara. Ishvara is the biggest boss. And so, so this is the Mahima. The pervasiveness is the Mahima. So it says, Etavan Asya Mahima. And then, of course, the narrative is that don't think this is all the Mahima of Ishvara. So it is already saying, it started to say that by saying the very first verse is, Atyatishtat Dashangulam. He says that it is not just Bhumim Vishvato Vritva Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad and all that. It is much more than that. And the same thing is true for the human being. As we will see in this more and more, it will become clearer as we go through. So for instance, you have a certain experience which is yours. All individual experiences. Individual experiences means we have some family, some friends, some sons and daughters maybe, a job. So these are my possessions and my experiences. Okay? This forms a very small part of my connections. I am much more than that. And this example is shown to you every night. You leave all of that aside. Leave everything. There's no friend, no spouse, no child, no nothing. You are rising much above that as a conscious being. Happy. Infinite. Deep sleep is infinity. There's no limitation. So the Mahima that we talk about is not just Ishvara's. This is the similarity between the Jiva and the Ishvara. So the Jiva also is the same thing. You can apply it to it. So it's not just we should just, as I was saying all along, that really speaking, it's the bowing to Ishvara is appropriate and so on. But the Vedantic meaning of this is, I want to be as free as Ishvara. This is what we are all trying to do. This is what, so here Swami Maheshananji, this is a very important point that he makes again and again. What he's saying is that, if you analyze everyone's life, not just one person, all the common element of everyone, what you find is that we are all trying to find something, look for something. This is to be thought of. We are looking for something. And what we find is that we get false signals. So Swami Maheshananji gives this example. He says that there was a lady, there can be a lady, it's not like there was, but yeah, of course there was, who lost her son. I mean, I'll tell you, in India, this happens very, very often. You go to some kind of a fair where there's hundreds and thousands of people, and the children get separated, because they get kidnapped. They get kidnapped. And then they'll get separated. And the mother goes to the police, and the police says, I don't know. We haven't been what to do. And the police says that usually they all stay around here somewhere, but so possibly he might reappear. So Maheswaranji says that this lady would look at somebody and say, I think that looks like my son. She goes close to it and she's disappointed. Then after a couple of years she says, oh my gosh, I think that must have been mine. No. So similarly, Swami Maheswaranji says, our life consists of these searches for something. What is it? Something that everyone is searching for, by the way, not just one person, everyone. What is it? That is unconditional freedom. I do not want to be bothered or be controlled by anything. Not even by food. Nothing. I want to be happy. Unconditionally happy. I don't want conditional happiness. It's not like you say, okay, I can give you some conditional happiness. This is what the happy hour does. It's conditional happiness. So first of all, you get all boozed up so that your mind becomes subdued. Normally your mind is saying, my gosh, you've got so many things to do, you're a very worrying person, this, that or the other. But for this one time when you had a couple of drinks, the mind doesn't bother you. It just leaves you alone. And then the happy hour is even happier because drinks are half price. This is wonderful. Our controls become absolutely loosened when some discount is given to us. Then we say, oh my God, this is wonderful, I've got to do that. So the happy hour is a conditional happiness. And I don't have any other choice, so at least I'm somewhat happy for 1 hour, so I go there again and again. Not me, but someone. And so, conditional happiness is not what I want. If somebody says, will you be, I can give it to you happy inside the home, but outside you will not be happy. I don't want that. Okay, during the day I can make it, but at night time you won't be happy. I don't want that. So what we are seeking for is unconditional happiness. This is what we are seeking. And we get glimpses of it, just like this woman who says, yeah, I think this is my son. Or maybe this is my son. And she gets disappointed. So similarly, we have various instances in our life where we think we have found it. We fall in love. And we are very happy. The person, and this is what happens, they say that teenage is a very vulnerable age because at home the mother and father are always on their case. You haven't made your bed, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, come on, get going, your school is this, that or the other. And then this person meets a boy or a girl and he says, you're beautiful. Really? You're just so beautiful. But shouldn't I be cutting my hair? He says, no, nothing. Just the way you are. You find, wow, I have found unconditional happiness. This person accepts me just the way I am. This is called puppy love. And this happens in various ones. You find the right job, you find the right spouse, you find it doesn't last. in fact, the only search the only thing that I am searching for without knowing it is identity with Ishvara. I want the same qualities that Ishvara has. Total independence, all pervasiveness, Satyam. Satyam. And there is only one Satyam. And I want that, but I don't know where to look. This is the issue. And the Purusha Suktam gives us hints. Anyway, let me finish verse number. There's not conceptually it is the same, all the 4 verses. Etavanasya Mahima Ataha Jaya Gascha Purusha. At every point, it reminds that don't limit Ishvara to just these few qualities, pervasiveness, this, that, or the other, Amritatvasya Ishanaha, and so on. Don't limit it. It's infinite. This is just a small portion of it. Padaha asya vishwabhutani. That, in fact, this is just one of the portions of it. And the same thing is true for us, by the way. Everything is the same for us. Don't think that your experiences of friends and family and so on is your only wealth, if you can call it a wealth. And we should, yeah. They are a wealth of every individual. You have much more than that. Because this is just a small portion of it. Padaha asya vishwabhutani tripadasya amritan divi. So here divi is translated many times as heaven, and we don't do that. Divi means the answer for one which you are already, which Ishvara is, and this consciousness is the one which is common between Ishvara and Jiva, and that is infinite. That is the Satyam that we will talk about in the next class. Okay, so with that I close off today's class, and we will pick up the link and talk about the Mahima of the Purusha. So Purusha can be either one, the Jiva or the Ishvara. Similar, very similar. And in the intrinsic, in the incidental reasons it is different, but in intrinsic reasons it is not similar, it is the same. So, for example, in the space between the 2 circles is the same. That's also infinite, that is also infinite. Now you enclose it with a bigger circle and you call it Paramatma. You call it Ishvara. You enclose it with a smaller circle, you call it a Jiva. Jivatma. But intrinsically they are the same. So this we will explore further next week. Okay, so with that, let's just close with a small prayer, and then I will see if you had any questions. Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay. Okay. Thank you for all the namastes, and but I have not yet seen a question. Okay, so here's the first one. Raj Velpuri. In describing the pervasiveness of Ishvara in space, the extent of extra dashangulam is used, which is also space and already perceived. So then what is the extra quality of Ishvara? So, Raj, this is really poetic. You cannot really parse every. This is not an Upanishad where, even in Upanishad also, sometimes words are to be rearranged and extrapolated and so on. So Dashangulam here just means that, so Dashangulam is the 10 directions of the space. Okay? And so the 10 directions are, of course, north, south, west and east, and then the semi one, so northeast, and so the half of them, so that's 8, and then the up and the down is the 10. This is the Dashangula. Over there it's poetically saying in all directions. All directions are actually included in the Ishvara. This we will see how, in what manner, that we will see. So that is the extra quality of Ishvara. Chandradulam, can you please expand a bit on Yat Annena Atirohati? Annena Yad, I think he says Yada Nenati Rohitaha. I'm not sure you're accurately. If it is Annena Atirohati, this we will do a little bit later on. Okay, so please hang in there. It's not been explained yet. Shantikumar, if we are the same as Ishvara, but entire pain and suffering and chaos of the world created by Jiva, can you unfold, Guruji? So, it's what is said is, this is a very interesting creation, and an interesting creation where if you don't know the truth, you suffer. If you know the truth, you don't suffer. This is the creation. And I think you can quibble with it or something, but really speaking, there is no better creation than it is. And the example is, the NNG had given this example. I may have given, maybe not in this class, this is a new class. So the example is that there was a person from a village who came to a big town and was very successful as a businessman, made a lot of money. And even in the village, he used to play soccer a lot in the sand lots of the village, and he was very, in India called football, so he was very fond of playing football. But when he came to the city and he made a lot of money, he bought a club of professional soccer players, as many people do. And he staged a very nice high-level game between his team and the opposing team. And he had an uncle from the village who had really helped him a lot, raised him. And he decided, I'm going to bring my uncle and show him what this beautiful soccer game is all going to be allowed. And of course he was the owner of it, and so he wanted to show off a little bit. So the game goes on, and then as soon as the game starts, there is a fierce competition for this ball. And both sides are just fighting and, getting hurt and getting fouled and this, that, or the other. There's people are frustrated and this, that, all that. And one team wins 1-0. Very competitive game. So afterwards, the game is over. He turns to his uncle and says, "Well, didn't you enjoy it? Wasn't that fun?" He says, "No, I didn't enjoy it." He said, "What? How come you didn't enjoy it?" He says, there was a lot of fighting and a lot of fouls. And there was one guy who really got hurt. And there was blood coming out of his cheeks. And I don't get this at all. And I don't understand this. Didn't you say you made a lot of money? He says, "Yeah, I think I have." So he says, "Wait, how much does a football cost? Why could you not give a football to each of the 22 players? So they don't have to fight over one ball. 22 people fighting over one ball." He says, "That doesn't make any sense to me at all." So this person said, "Oh my God. This is our situation. This creation is a play where there is a lot of action going on. And sometimes, and this is what makes it in the Karika, I think Shanti Kumarji, you are attending the Karika, Mandukya Karika class, which is a very advanced class. So there, Gaudapadaji says that the fact that it appears to be very real and also is going on and on. People die and then they, sometimes at a young age, there is a lot of suffering and you don't know what happened to them, where are they going, there is a loss. And you lose some shraddha towards it. It is very much like the uncle that doesn't know this is a play. So this creation is a very beautiful one where the dukkha is false and the sukha is real. And you have to discover that. The falsity of dukkha and the reality of sukha. Something like that. We'll talk more about it. I want to spend. Satish Jalota, does that mean we are going to be into the temples to seek happiness that is in fact conditional and short-lived? Is your question that going to the temple is... so the going to the temples depends on what you're going there for. Okay? If you're going there for getting some results in this life, then yes, that is short, because the results are never lasting. If you're going there for a better deal in the next life, that also is short. The next life might be in some kind of a Swargaloka where you are enjoying yourself, But they say then time passes fast when you're having fun. Our Shastra also says Swargaloka Martyaloka Vishanti. As soon as the phalam is gone, you'll be back here again. So that also is short-lived in that sense. But if you're going to the temple for Atma Vidya, which is very difficult, but that is the only one which is praptasya praptihi, and it is infinite. And right now, Jivan Mukti here itself, you don't have to go anywhere. So it depends on what you are seeking when you go to the temple. Chandra says, can you please put the Shanti Patha for the Suktam online? I didn't have the Shanti Patha along with the Suktam. I'll do that. In fact, I'll discuss it also. I haven't done it yet. So we will talk about Urdha Jigatu Bheshajam, and all of that we will do one of these days. And those are the only questions that you have. I will wait for a couple of minutes to see if you have any further. And if not, then we will wrap it up. Don't see any more questions. So with that, no questions. A couple other people signed in. Yeah, somebody signed in, but no questions. All right. So we will see. Next Tuesday is okay. I have some issues with the Saturday class, but next Tuesday is okay. So never mind. We'll meet hopefully with Ishwara's blessings next Tuesday. Okay? All right. Hari Om. So I need some advice. Of course, as usual, it says unable to connect, and not responding, and so even though the live streaming was going on, so now I'm trying to stop it, and I don't know how to do it because it simply shows me connect and configure Mevo, which I do. It would say live streaming is busy, so I don't know how to stop this. Not sure what to do.
Did you turn off the camera? So that's done, right?
So I should turn off the camera?
I mean, right now because you made me online, right?
Correct. I think I'm still online.
Yeah, you're supposed to turn it off using the app. I think that's why you turn it off. What app is giving you trouble? So I don't know why that app is misbehaving with you.
Yeah, you're right. I think I need to look into that. It's very...
See if there is an update or something to it. Go to the App Store, see if there is an update.
Okay. All right, I will do that.
All I can think of.
So...
It continues to give you grief. I was also thinking if you, there is actually a Google, I mean, I can send you an email on that to you with that. That actually, without the camera, you can do it directly on YouTube using the Google Chrome web browser.
I
So
see.
at some point, if you want to switch to that without the hands-on setting with the camera or something, just talking to the Chromebook, if you're okay to that, then you can try that.
So that means the camera from the Chromebook is the one that is now photographing me. Is that right?
Exactly. Directly goes to, so no more equipment, you just use the Google Chromebook and you do a live casting, live streaming.
I see. Okay, we should look into that.
Then we won't have to worry about this iPod and
Yeah. But right now, I think that the streaming is going to go on. I don't know how to stop it. So,
yeah, right. It's talking. Yeah, you have to turn off the camera because you're right. Still. So, yeah, I don't know. Can you turn off the app and come back to it? Maybe that's happening.